In the last class, we looked at the major characteristics of poetry. Today, we will talk about the different types of poetry or poems. I remember Sarah. Let me tell you about her. Sarah is a writer and even poet. She enjoys writing poems for birthdays, for events like birthdays, burial, and all sorts of events and ceremonies. She had recently worked on a 14-line poem. When you ask her what she did, she will tell you it is sonnet. What is sonnet? Sonnet is a type of poem that has one stanza 14-line poem written in iambic pentameter, meaning line of 10 syllables with alternate stressed and unstressed syllables according to iambic rhythm. For example, of such a poem is Sonnet 18, written by William Shakespeare, or Death Be Not Proud by John Donne. Just like we have sonnets, we also have other types of poems. We have ode, elegy, ballad, and so on. What is an ode? Ode is a poem meant to be sung. That's why it is also known as a lyrical poem. It addresses a particular subject and is written in varied or irregular meter. An example is John Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn. An elegy or dirge is a sad or mournful poem often recited for the dead at a funeral. An example is Adonais, written in 1822 by Percy Bysshe Shelley for John Keats, a poet who died. Epic. This is a lengthy narrative poem written about a serious subject for the praising of his or her, its heroic deeds, or the events of the significance of a culture or nation. An example is Homer's The Iliad and the Odyssey. Ballad. This is a narrative poem that tells a story. Ballads began as folk songs and are being used today in modern music. A typical ballad consists of stanzas that contain a quatrain or 4 poetic lines. An example is Samuel Taylor Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Pastoral poem. This poem is seen to talk about shepherds, livestock, farmers, or peasants, and rural life. In essence, it talks about communal settings. An example of this is Christopher Marlowe's The Passionate Shepherd to His Love. Nonsense poem. This poem was popularized by Edward Lear. It is a poem of speech writing or any other communication that lacks coherent meaning. An example is Hey Diddle Diddle by an anonymous person. It sort of reminds one of the sounds babies make. Other kinds of poems or poetry include panegyric, limerick, and lyric. And that brings us to the end of the class. See you next time.